Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about emotional intelligence and communication in a workplace. But instead of giving you a straightforward explanation, I would like to share my personal journeys, how I've come to understand and apply emotional intelligence in my life, and how it's changed the way I interact with others. So, a few years ago, I used to think that being a good communicator was about choosing the right words, speaking clearly, and making my points with confidence. But as I've faced new experiences, I've learned that communication is much deeper than that. It's about empathy, it's about awareness and connection, all of which are tied to emotional intelligence. Let me give you an example. I was once part of a project in an internship back home that involved a lot of changes in our team approach. Emotions ran high, some people were excited, some were stressed, and some were even resistant. I remember feeling overwhelmed and frustrated because nobody listened to my point and nobody would get on the same page. Looking back, I see that I wasn't recognizing their emotional states. I was too focused on what I wanted to complete and accomplish. As Goldman in 1995 emphasizes, emotional intelligence helps us to see beyond our own goals and recognizes the feeling of around us. Over time, I began to realize that emotions are always present in the workplace, especially during change of period. So Dashbro as mentioned in 2015, found that emotions are deeply affected by how individuals experience organizational change. I started reflecting on these experiences and realized that by acknowledging my colleagues' emotions, I could see a more open and trusting environment. Instead of pushing forward with my ideas, I started asking how they were feeling about the changes and really listening to it. So, what was surprising to me? Empathy isn't just a nice to have quality, it's a necessary tool for leadership and teamwork. So, DeMarchi in 2020 argues that empathy enhances communication by allowing us to understand the emotional states of others. I began projecting myself into my colleagues' experiences, trying to understand their concerns from their perspectives. One of my most powerful lessons I learned was during a tense meeting. When a colleague expressed frustration on me, instead of reacting defensively, I took a moment and really considered how I felt. I was being adjusting to my a response in a way. So, Lunenburg in 2010 highlights how nonverbal communications can be even more impactful than what is said out loud. This experience taught me to look beyond words and pay closer attention to unspoken signals in every situation. But it wasn't just about understanding others. I always questioned and challenged my own assumption about communication. For a long time, I used to think being articulate was the key to being a good communicator. However, I've come to realize and being emotionally aware and adaptable is just as important as being articulate. In reflecting on my past experiences, I recognize that some of the most effective moments of the communication I had didn't had the perfect words, didn't had the perfect time, but I truly connected with the person in front of me. So in conclusion, my journey through emotional intelligence and communication has been one of a continuous learning. It's about making sense to new experiences, linking old habits to new habits, and projecting myself into the experiences of others. I've had to challenge my beliefs and examine my own learning process, but most importantly, I've come to see that communication isn't just about what we say, it's about understanding, empathy, and connection. Emotional intelligence has just become the foundation of how I communicate and build relationship in the workplace. So, thank you for listening to me.